Hello, welcome back. Today we're talking about something really exciting. We're talking about going on a date in English. Hard times, can I just tell you? Yeah. Basically, when you go on a date in English, what is a date? Let's just get that out of the way first. You go on a date means that you go for dinner or to, I don't know, to a bar or to the cinema. Bad date, but you can just, I don't know, you can go for a walk, you can, go to the pub to get to know somebody else that you could potentially be interested in romantically, okay? So this is a date, okay? When you go on a romantic meetup with somebody. And when that happens in English and you're not very comfortable with the language, it can be very awkward, very like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, oh my God, kill me now. So it can be very awkward to go on a date in English, but when you know some things that you can say that could help get the conversation going, I think you're gonna feel better. So, first things first, okay? Supposedly you're going on a date with somebody you are interested in. So you like that person, you fancy them, you're like, I like you. You fancy them and you're gonna go on a date with that person. In this case, when you see them, when you actually meet up, supposedly you're meeting up, if this is London, it's very likely that you're going to meet up at a station and then you're going to walk someplace together. You're going to head somewhere. To head somewhere is the same as to go somewhere, okay? You're going to head somewhere together. So it could just be that you're meeting at, say, King's Cross station, okay, just a train station in London. And so when you get to the station and you see them, it's nice to say, hi, nice to see you, because when you say that, then you're already giving them kind of the signal. You're almost kind of saying, like, I'm excited to be here in a nice way, not in a crazy way, not in a very forward way. Very, kind of very obvious. When you're very forward, you're very obvious. And this is not forward at all. It's just, you're just being nice. And you say, hi, nice to see you. Hi, good to see you. It's just, you're being polite and nice. It's nice to say that. It's a very good way to start the date. Put it that way, okay? Supposedly you start walking and you don't really know where you're going, and you walk around and there are pubs and bars and restaurants and you don't really know where you're going and you want to suggest something, you can say, shall we have a drink here? Shall we have a drink here means, what do you think? Is this a good idea? When you say, shall we have a drink here, you're asking the person whether they believe that's a good idea, okay? Shall we have a drink here? Oh yeah, sure, let's go in. Then you go into this particular pub or bar or something. Maybe they are going to ask you, and this is a very realistic scenario. Maybe they're going to ask you if you're hungry, because what I noticed with, generally speaking, British dates is that they tend to be a little bit more laid back. Like a lot of the time, I'm really trying to not generalize here, but a lot of the time they don't have everything super planned out because they want to make sure that you're okay with that plan. Obviously also because there is this cultural difference kind of happening. So I think it could be why they are a little bit more careful. So they could ask you if you're hungry because they're not sure whether you want to go to a restaurant or not. So they could say, are you hungry at all? And if you are, like you want to say yes in a very natural way, you can say, yeah, I could eat. I could eat. Yeah, I could eat. I could eat actually. It's a nice answer, because when you know those little details, you feel better about the date, because you know you're not just saying yes, no, like really short answers and obvious answers. You're giving something extra that makes you feel good about yourself. Something you might want to ask if you don't know and you want to know, you could say, what is it that you do then? What is it that you do then? It's a very weird way to ask a question, because really you could just say, where do you work? Or what do you do? But I'm teaching you a very strange way to ask a question, because we never know if that's how they will ask you. And then you're gonna be like, what does that even mean? So I'm teaching you a way that could happen from a native speaker, okay? Like they could say, what is it that you do then? So this question is, do you work? Do you study? Where do you work? What do you study? They want to know about you work-wise or study-wise. So you're gonna have to give them a little bit of detail here. And you could ask this question as well. Like you could say, what is it that you do then? Remember to smile. Because it's in English, you will probably be a little bit more tense than you would on a date in your language. So don't let that be something that stops you from showing your personality and from, you know, kind of showing your best self. So what I mean here is try to, even though you might be feeling uncomfortable and insecure, try to smile, because that always helps. If the date's going really well, the conversation is flowing, and you want to ask deep questions, maybe questions about family or like this really depends on your personality as well. But if the date's going well and you want to ask a little bit more about family, you could say, do you get on well with your family? This is a good question because it's not so like in your face. It's more mild. So you can say, do you get on well with your family then? Then is a nice little word to add when you're asking questions on the date, because it sounds, this is gonna sound really crazy, but it sounds a little bit less like an interview and more like an informal chat, which is what we want. We don't want to be interviewing the person on the date. We want to kind of sound like we're just having an informal chat. And something else as well, when you end the date and you really liked it and you would like to see the person again, then you kind of have to give a hint of that because they are not very good at getting signs. So you kind of have to kind of say it but not say it, you know? So and if you do, like if you are the really honest type, then you can just say, I'd love to see you again. There's absolutely no problem about that. So you can say, if you're very honest and straightforward, like you say it as it is, you can just say, I'd love to do this again sometime, or I'd love to do this again soon. If you don't want to say, I'd love to see you again, because that's like, whoa, you might feel a little bit like you're saying too much depending on your personality. So instead, you can just say, I'd love to do this again, like to go out with you again, you know? So you can say that, or you can say also, I've had a lovely time tonight. So that's reassuring the person, that's telling the person that it was really successful. So you say, I had a lovely time tonight. Thank you. Lovely. I'm a bit rusty on the dating scene because being married for 9 years, but I think those tips will probably help you. Thank you for being here today. Let me know in the comments down below if this video has been helpful to you in any way, shape or form, and I'll see you next week, that's for sure. Thank you.